Hello everyone, I am back today to do a video on, for Valentine's Day, using the Sistaco Metallic Crimson. Really gorgeous colour in the range. I'm not sure if they still sell that one, but there's plenty of other reds if they don't have that, or whatever you've got on hand. Please excuse everything flying away. The fan in the background is blowing everything everywhere. But it's quite warm here, so I kind of do need to have it on. So I'm going to start off by saying, obviously these are my press-on tips and I've just painted them nude, so I would recommend that if you have nice healthy nail beds that you would just use the base coat and top coat and use your nail beds as the base. If you're doing Sistaco, because I'm not really aware of any nude colors that they have that's sheer enough, but if you have anything, by all means use whatever you like, or you could use a nail polish underneath as a nude base. As I've said in previous videos, you would need to let that completely dry before you started using the Sistaco products. So where I'm going to go from here is, now you can use an angled brush for this, or you'll see what I do. I do have another video on how to do French tips on Sistaco, but this color was a little bit more difficult because it's so pigmented and the glitter was sort of flying around everywhere. So I do recommend that you do a base coat and top coat first, just so that and then when you do the tips, you can use the base coat just on the tip area. That way you can clean it up. It's not going to go all over the nail, and it's just a bit easier that way. That's my tip. So I will go ahead and start filming, and I'll jump in if I need to tell you anything more. These are the decal design that I'm going to try and paint on my nail. I am not the best artist, so we will see how it goes. So I'm going to use my little crystal agate as a paint base. Now, to turn your Sistaco into polish, obviously just use a little bit of top coat. Then just get a little bit of your Sistaco powder and pop that into the top coat. I made a complete mess of this and put way too much Sistaco powder in there, and then just mix it up, and then till you've got like a polished consistency, and you're ready to use it however you want to use it. Now what I'm doing here is just putting on some base coat around the tip line. And because it's clear, sometimes it's a bit hard to see how accurate it is, or if you've done a straight line. So I do the next tip a different way, so I can show you two ways. I tend to be able to create a smile line. You can always fix it, but this is the easiest way for me. Now I did put a top coat on before that base coat, so that's why it's not going to stick to the whole nail, and you'll see that I'm dusting off the excess powder and it's not stuck to the nail, and then you'd be able to see if you've missed any bits, and you can always touch it up with a fine brush to make sure you get that crisp line with a bit more base coat. I'm just using one of these tiny cotton buds that I've just dipped the head of in some alcohol just to clean up that area. But you could also use just like a little fine brush as well, just dip that in alcohol and sort of just tidy that up. And as you can see, you can so easily get that all over the nail using the top coat. I always have a top coat that I use specific for glitters and stuff so that it doesn't ruin my clear top coats, but I ended up having to wipe that whole thing off because the glitter just went all over the nail. So I guess my suggestion might be use your glitter top coat, go over the glitter part, and then cure it, and then go over the whole nail. That would just prevent it from wiping all up the nail. Here I tried to use my angled brush, which was also an epic fail. The brush that I've got is too fluffy on the end. It's an old brush, so if you are going to use an angled brush, make sure that it's a very fine tipped angled brush, or it's just going to distribute glitter all over the nail. So, and with this particular color, it's really hard to prevent it from flying everywhere. And I didn't do what I told you to do before and put a top coat on that nail first. So I had multiple epic fails doing this, and I'm just using another one of my brushes to try and fix it, but I'll end up switching to another method in a sec. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the polish that I created earlier and just this thin brush, and I'm just going to draw on a smile line. It's not going to give the look that you need, but what it will do is create a guide, and then I will go back over that with a base coat. Once I've cured this, I will go over it with a base coat and then cure that again, and then use the Sistaco powder, and that will give me a better line. But if I had have just gone ahead and did what I did with the first nail and just painted it on with a clear polish, I wouldn't have had to go through all of this. But it just depends on how confident you are with using a clear polish as a smile line. You can also use guides. That's going to be a lot faster and a lot quicker, especially if you don't have a steady hand. So let me know what you do if you are really good at doing smile lines. So now that I have my guided smile lines from the polish, and I've cured them, I'm just going over them now with a base coat, and then I'm going to cure that, and then I'm going to dust on the powder. So guys, here is the finished look using the Sistaco method. Hope you like them, and I'm just going to show you now how to make your own decal. I'm just going to use the back of the some other decals that I have, and I'm going to use the polish that I created by mixing the Sistaco powder together, and I'm just going to draw a heart on this little plastic. I think you can use as long as it's plastic and it's going to be able to peel off, you should be able to use any surface like that. And it's just going to be easier to literally draw on a backing surface than it is on your own nails, especially when you've got to do it with your non-dominant hand. So this is just another tip that I learned along the way, and I wish I had have done this from the start. It was really hard drawing them on my nails, and they didn't turn out as good as I would like them. But I just thought I would show you this just in case this might come in handy for you. So basically I'm just going to draw the heart or whatever decal it is that you want to create on this backing paper, and then I'm going to cure it for 30 seconds each time, just until I've got the desired thickness that I want. Obviously, when it's easy to create a design and clean it up before you cure it, so if you don't like what you've done, you can just wipe it off, start again, clean it up as you go, and then when you're happy with it, just cure it for 30 seconds and then keep going over it until you build up a thick enough texture that it's not going to break when you try to peel it off. As you will see, mine did break in one spot when I tried to peel it off, and it was because it was a little bit too thin there. But even the decals that you do buy, the ones that I purchase, can be tricky to peel off. Sometimes they do break if they're very delicate design. But anyway, I will speed this up. There's no need for me to talk all the way through this. You can basically get the gist of it, and at the end of it you can just use that as a decal. And last of all guys, this is the exact same design but using a pink polish. Unfortunately the nude was not transparent enough for it to really see the difference between the colors. The actual color of the decals that I used were the same color as the polish, so it wasn't kind of dark enough to really get a good picture of it, but it still looked really pretty. Just needed to be more sheer nail bed color. So what did you think? Let me know your thoughts. I really love hearing what you think. Are you going to create the same design? Do you have any questions? If you do create the same design, I would love you to tag me in it over on my Instagram page at Ezynailsbyrachaellee. So yeah, there's another one completed, and I'll see you in the next one.